Hello everyone on stream. Hope you're doing good. You can hear me okay? Very good, very good. And everyone here, welcome as always. Yes, I will do a quick. Let everyone see each other. It's just nice since we're asking questions, and it's just nice to know who is also listening in. So you have some feeling of community here. Very good. So we can start by just finding a comfortable position. Closing your eyes. You cannot hear me? Yes? I see nods and you. Yes. I think it's just you, Cecilia, who cannot hear me. So just take a few seconds and just allow everything to slow down. Just stay with the awareness of the experience of the body. Just be aware of whatever comes through the senses. If there is thinking, whatever is going on in this moment. And remember, there's nothing you have to do here. Just stay as you are. Just with complete alertness, complete awareness of whatever comes up in this moment. You don't have to be fixed. There's nothing broken. You just notice this moment. This deep acceptance of whatever happens, happens. Whatever comes into your field of consciousness. This is a source of self-love. And it's not to be figured out. It's not a thing that you can hold. But it is your nature. It is the essence of beingness. It's easy in your everyday life to get caught up by your thoughts. The identification with the body. All the ideas that comes with that. So in our sadhana, in our meditation practice, we come back to awareness itself. I'm not calling it your awareness because it is not personal. This beingness is universal. And whatever you experience in this moment, just approach it as it is the first time you experience it. It's completely new. You don't have to do all the things that your everyday mind might usually do, like connecting dots, putting it in categories. You just allow a thought to happen and fall back into awareness. It is not a complicated practice. It is very simple. It is being as you are. When you don't touch any thought, when you just stay as you are, you become this space. You can call it whatever you like. Awareness, the present moment, now. But it's not a philosophy. It's not about words. It's about experiencing this moment. And if you experience a lot of thinking, a lot of distractions, it's just because there is a lot of belief. The belief in the idea of the person and what that entails. And you might have all kinds of ideas what makes you meditative or what meditation is. But most of them will take you out of meditation. Because you have to remember, it is not a strategy. It's just your natural state. And the sooner you accept that there is nothing to hold on to in meditation, then the naturalness of letting go will be there. And if you get lost in thoughts, you come back to being aware. And if awareness comes without effort, you just stay. You can open your eyes. You can move your body if you need to. So much peace. I sometimes hear that non-dual meditation and Vedanta is a very deep and complicated philosophy. But that is ridiculous. It just feels complicated to the mind that takes the words and makes them into something. Because then there's a lot of books to read. There's a lot of teachers to listen to. There's a lot of things to know. And meditation is very practical. It's good to know some basics, to have some logical understanding of why we're sitting in meditation. But the practice is very simple. Stay as you are. Don't touch the thoughts. Done. And why meditators are very humble after a while is that they discover that that is very difficult. Because the egoic mind wants to join in. It wants to be a part of the ride. It wants to be the meditator. It wants to tell you when your meditation practice is going well and when it's not. It wants drama. It wants ups and downs. All this. But in beingness itself, nothing is happening. Here's the experience of the mind thinking that the meditation is going good or bad. But in actuality, nothing is happening. And coming back to this non-happening is what we call meditation practice. And the meditator will also be very accustomed to failing. Because in your practice you will try certain things. The ideas of how to get out of your mind, how to be more peaceful. And as long as they derive from the idea of being a person, it will fail. And it's beautiful. It's the universe showing you what you're up to. But you will also understand in your sadhana, in your practice, that there's very limited choices of what you can do in your life. Because your life will happen as it happens. It will unfold as it unfolds. It's not personal. The world is not out to get you. It just happens as it happens. And when the acceptance of this becomes your reality, it won't disturb you. As long as the mind compares and says, yes, my life is okay, but I would like this instead. I would like more of this. This is lacking. Or what I see of the world is not in line with my idea of what the world is. But this view just creates resistance. And you're free to live however you like. I want to be very clear with that. I'm not telling anyone how to live their lives. But just look into the nature of things. That's all I encourage. See what resistance does. Does it dispel thoughts or does it make them stronger? It's very easy to also see the progress in meditation because it will make your mind more quiet. Maybe not right away, but after a while it will start to die down and it will be obvious why it does. Because your belief in the thoughts is not as strong. Your acceptance of the present moment is more prominent. And the more this naturalness takes hold, the easier it will be to know when to relax and when there naturally has to be some effort. And this effort will not feel exhausting. Because you just know that it is needed. Most people believe that their life is their situation. The idea that they have of who they are in their life. What happened to them, where they're heading, what the circumstances of their life is. But all these things, they move just on the surface. Behind all those senses of situations, there is awareness. And if your idea of time would suddenly stop, you get to know that you die tomorrow. Then the perspective changes. The things that were important are no longer important. Just look at it. And you often see that people come to the end of their lives and they know that they have a short time to live, and they change how they look at things. They prioritize differently. They almost never say, I think I'm going to work a little bit harder and more. And I know that all these things, all the things that touch impermanence, can be scary. Everything about the transient nature of your experience can feel scary. Just aging, becoming sick, old. But if they're not taboo anymore, and if you can keep them close, there's also life there. There's the possibility of being as you are. We have the potential for so much peace. That when we touch it, we become overwhelmed. We don't know if we're worthy. And your peace can feel wrong. You see people around you being sad of the loss of a family member, and you just feel so much love and peace. And you can doubt if that is the right thing to feel, because no one else seems to share that. But it is. It's absolutely the right thing to feel. Because in that peace we can embrace all. It's steeped in empathy. What is it to really meet someone? What is it to really connect? How often do you meet someone with no agenda? With no ideas of the outcome? You just see what happens. It sounds simple when we talk about it. But everything from your past that you carry with you will suddenly change the view. Can you trust this person? Or can you not trust them? Are they lovable? Are they the right person to really meet? Do you dare to be open with them? Now it starts to sound more like that there is a need for a perfect storm. For a real meeting to take place. So the challenges are in all the people who are a bit nasty, not so likable, arrogant. Can you love them? And not in a way where you take a little bit pity of them because you think they have such a sad life. Really try to understand them. Because most people don't understand that resistance that you feel against someone is a resistance that you carry around. It doesn't make you safe from that person. It's just a tension that you carry. And all these ideas that continue, that linger in your mind, that come again and again. We can see them, we can believe that they are so harmless, but they fill up all of the space. All the little ideas of, I have to be careful around this one, like this, and I have to do that. They create more thoughts, and with more thoughts come more doing. And from these small fears that we have, the idea of protecting the body, the idea of protecting ourselves, we build and build. And for many people, when they're young, it's fine. And when they grow older, the psychological heaviness becomes more overwhelming even. You get tired of the egoic mind. And then you come here. And if there is space, the possibility starts to emerge that old tendencies might come up to the surface. For some people it happens right away, as soon as they start to practice. For some people it takes a bit of time. But this usually happens that there is some time of really peaceful meditation, and then it comes. And if it happened for you a couple of times, you might almost dread those peaceful meditation months it can be, and you're like, 3 months of super peaceful meditation. Something big is going to happen. And then there is no longer the building of psychological weight. It is lifted. But as usual, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It will take sincerity. It will go against certain things that you will feel are scary. And you will think that things are changing on the outside when they're actually changing on the inside. That confusion is normal. But that is also the beauty of meditation. Because you think that it changes you, and you start to notice that it changes the world. And that shows that you and the world are the same. And another important thing, don't be too serious about it. It is a big obstacle. And it happens so easily because we touch this subject and you start to notice, oh wow, this is a profound subject. This is a serious subject. We're talking about deep things here. But it's also the playfulness of now. That is the foundation of it. The nature that we have is not to, as society sometimes can give you the feeling that you have to be as efficient as possible. Our nature is to play. We're usually quite good at it as children, but as adults we can be real crap at it. A real play pooper. Because play has a quality that the adult efficient mind can lack. And it is doing things just for the fun of it. And somehow that makes the world less personal. And the present moment more present. And there's so many ways that the mind gets stagnant. If it just buys into one way of thinking, and a very efficient way of thinking for a long time, it can be very difficult, because you will dismiss everything that is play and fun as not necessary. That is always the fat that we can cut away. We want to trim everything. But that is like eating food just for the nutrition. You can just eat pills and things. But it doesn't taste very well. But you get all the things the body needs. But it's not fun. It's not playful. And also with your sadhana, it is a great thing if it can come into your practice, because you will try things. And it can be great to try the most stupid things. Okay, but I have a little belief that I can make my mind silent. Okay, I'm really going to try it. Or whatever you think. Even if you know you heard 1,000 times it is stupid, but you have a sense that there is something in me that I think that I still can quiet my mind somehow. And then you really try it, and you really find out. Because it's so easy to also not want to feel stupid in your practice. It's so easy to feel like you want to do the right thing. I want to understand this non-dual thing, and I want to do it the right way. It's so easy for the adult mind, the non-playing mind, to go into that. But then it might be that you're just going on other people's experiences. You're listening to someone, oh, this is wise and good, and that is a beautiful experience. But the best thing is to try. And I jokingly sometimes say, don't believe what I say. See if it is true. Practice it and see the effect. Because it is sadhana. It is not thinking about meditation. Is there any questions today?
You said in the beginning.
Can you take the mic? So they also hear? They will be so happy on stream if you do it. It's on.
It's on?
Yes.
You said in the beginning that you're not broken. You don't need to be fixed.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit around that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think this is a big hurdle that many people feel, like something in them is not right. And that feeling, in a way, is correct. It has a little part of validity to it, because it comes from the feeling of feeling separate. The dual nature of the idea of the egoic mind creates the feeling that everything is not as it should be. That something is lacking. And this makes us look for happiness. This makes us do our sadhana, all these things. So that is actually a good thing in this. But what you put into the idea of this lack can be very external. If I only have more love in my life, if I only have more money in my life, if I only have more friends, better relationships in my family, whatever it is that you feel like you're lacking, then it will be projected to that. But those things are not in your control. They will happen as they happen. So when I say that you're not broken, I just mean that you are awareness.
Yeah. Thank you.
But they're also a very common in spiritual context that people also talk a lot about their traumas and yes, whatever they've been through and what they're working on, and that gets to be the whole thing that they hold on to when it comes to, that is their spiritual conversation, and that is the things that they can say to other people. And then you have a community of people that do the same thing, and you live from that. So you can never be without it either, because then you're not really, then you cannot contribute to your little group of friends. And I've just noticed that this becomes a problem, because then you always have to, but now I feel like I have this and this, and you always have a new thing that you're working on. So there cannot really be peace, because the egoic mind always looking for something so I can be relevant in this context.
Yeah.
It's just an obstacle, and it's just very common. That's why I talk about it. Because the egoic mind is not, it has nothing to contribute to someone who says, thank you, I'm at peace. Then there is nothing. It cannot continue. If there is no doubt in that, it's just say, I'm so grateful for this moment and thank you. The egoic mind is like, what am I going to do with that? Come back when you have a little problem or you feel weak or someone has wronged you, so we can talk about something. So the story can continue. It always wants this play.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks.
Thinking about loving other people or loving yourself, I guess. Something I've sort of thought about a lot, and I feel there's an answer sort of somewhere in my brain that I can't quite get. Because I feel like it's easy to, when you walk in the street, it's so interesting that people look so different and act so different, and you can tell written on their lives they've had a difficult life or something, written on their faces, I mean. But then knowing that, okay, we're all the same, and like we all have the same awareness, we're all the same underneath all of this. But how much of I mean, for instance, I would find it difficult to sort of love somebody who voted for maybe Donald Trump or something, who hates brown people or queer people or something. You know, it's a sort of difficult person to love maybe, but I can love and appreciate their real nature. But also for myself, I think, just being very honest. Sometimes I do, like online yoga classes, and they say like, set an intention with yourself, or say one beautiful thing to yourself. And I actually always find that really hard, to say something positive about myself. I can say that I'm just awareness, and that feels very nice. But the person I find difficult.
And do you find it difficult when it comes to other people? Or
I can certainly like other people, but I find it difficult maybe to... I was just interested when you mentioned that idea of loving other people, loving everybody, or even maybe loving myself.
But what are they? This becomes the question. What are they? When you say that you have a difficult time loving them, what are they? Are they the personality? Are they the egoic mind? And who are you? When you draw that conclusion, who do you think that you are?
Yeah, I do understand this, and I do feel like the idea I have of a personality is just an idea. I understand that, and I can also understand that in other people. They have whatever their lives that will generate a sort of a personality in them, or maybe they think they are something which they're not really. But I wonder, and I think I can love the shared aspect of them, but I just wonder about the in the relative sense, like how I express myself and how other people express themselves just being very different.
But you don't have to agree with them. You don't have to like their view on the world. But if you love them, it just becomes so much easier. Because otherwise, they are other. Do you understand? And this is the division that we have in ourselves, that we export to the external. We feel that division, we feel that we are someone that lacks something, and that they are also someone that lacks something. And I know that people say history shouldn't repeat itself, and look at this, now it's happening again, this and this tendency. Yes, because people are exactly the same. They're fear-ridden, they just react to the pain in their bodies, they're so emotional around that, they're so identified with every thought. So why would you think that something would be different? And people can just be pushed around by politicians who use their fears and push things in a certain way. So, if there is no change in you and how you react to that, then there is no change. That's why it's so fundamental. And I think at first your practice, your sadhana, feels very personal, and it feels like, oh, it's nice, I'm less anxious, I have better relationships, I have this and this. But when fear starts to go, it changes everything. Something that someone else around you says is super important. Oh, I'm so struck by the news, and this has happened, and I feel so, and you just feel like that is not reality at all. That is just an idea that creates a psychology of heaviness and an idea of resistance, and again, that play continues. That's why it becomes important to see what it does. What does it do when you resist things? Do you even understand what your resistance is? Can you follow me there? Because it's so easy to just overlook and say that I have healthy views of things, and that means I am right and you are wrong. And then you resist. There's no deeper understanding of either yourself or the other. And use all these things. If you get upset and triggered, and whatever happens, and you feel overwhelmed by what you think the state of the world is, look at yourself in that. Because that is your world. What other people will do, how if regimes will fall and rise and all this blah blah blah, the world will happen. But we're so used to these narratives. And we have a world now where we can hear 1,000 stories from all over, from different views of the same thing, and blah, blah, blah. And you can go emotionally and be identified with those, and then your life becomes heavy. And it all becomes that play. And it all has to do with identity. And again, just attaching things, holding on to my idea of what is right, you are wrong, whatever. And that is the division and the wars and everything that we see, they spring from that duality. If people would say that everyone really is the same, like all the religions teach, if they would feel that in their heart, there would be nothing of that. There would be complete disinterest. But if you can scare people, then you can say they are the enemy. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. I remember when I used to practice mindfulness meditation, I used to practice loving kindness, where you would first sort of send feelings of love toward somebody who was easy to love, maybe my children or something, and then maybe somebody neutral, like a neighbor who I didn't know, and then maybe somebody who was difficult. And I also heard a funny story of Buddhist monks going into villages and sort of starting fights with people. So they would get beaten up, and they could then return and meditate on feeling love towards the people who beat them up. I don't know if it's true, but it sounds like a funny thing. But I don't know, that always seemed like, I think I've sort of, maybe something has sort of gotten a bit stuck with that idea. It seems like a little bit like sort of forcing feelings of love, where it just didn't feel very natural for me.
No.
But it makes a lot of sense what you say, and I guess realizing how much sort of old stuff you have in your head. Whereas I think I can understand the thing that it's easy to love someone. If we're all the same, then it's easy. And maybe also that makes sense what you say, that you don't necessarily need to like them.
Yes.
But that you can love them.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense to me, I think.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
And I know that it's so easy when we talk about self-acceptance through awareness and all this, and it's so easy to think that this acceptance has to do with a relative acceptance. I must accept every thought, every idea, whatever comes in my... Like this Jim Carrey movie when he says yes to everything. That kind of... But it's not about that. It's actually that there also... there can be a very strong yes to a no. And it can just be very clear for you that this... a boundary has to be set here or something. And there can be so much love in that. And it's also when you connect to that deep love in yourself, it doesn't go wrong. Because it comes from that place. So even if people will resist what you say if you put your foot down, but it's completely for the love of them. The chance is big that they will come back and say it was really good that you stopped me in this moment. And in that sense, it's also not so complicated because it's not so external. It's not that we have to completely understand the external world in some deep philosophical sense. It's just coming back to awareness and the sense of love that is with awareness. And if you act from that, it would be very natural and very easy. Very good. Ola has a question. Hey.
I was thinking about this inquiring into into our beliefs, and maybe we have something, or I believe at least, or yeah, and maybe this is good to inquire into as well. But that, or at least for me, I have some negative thoughts about myself, like kind of a core belief, and like, and they seem somehow they seem hard to question, and they seem hard to kind of really to get the power to actually be able to really question them and not fall back into kind of believing in them. And I think it seems like something profound to be able to also question, because so much other beliefs kind of hang on them. Yeah.
It's a cluster of identity, the whole thing. Yes. So, and as you said, that is like a core belief that you have. So it feels also like, and this is a very common thing to underestimate, because many people think that if you practice meditation, it will be the easy thing is to work to let all negative thoughts go. But as soon as there is deep self-love, these things start to shake, because can you embrace that fully? Can you really allow that love that comes with awareness, that I know that you have experienced, Ola?
Yeah.
So then you start to change the whole foundation of things, and the egoic mind won't let go of that, because that is the foundation of its existence, this self-doubt. And I think it's so common to have those kind of thoughts.
And also, and I think, like, this is maybe not the core belief, but also like the thought that someone is going to be angry at me, or something, like that I don't live up to something, like for example, if my core belief would be I'm worthless, or I'm not enough, or something in that line, then also, like, I feel like maybe someone would come back at me, or like really attack me, and that can somehow prevent me from actually be able to do some of the daily activities, or
Yes, of course, it limits you a lot.
Yeah. And somehow, and then also maybe this other thing comes with it, like somehow something that I actually may think is fun and joyous, like doing something creative, or painting, or making a video or something. But then I feel this kind of burden and heaviness over it, because then I feel like, oh, then I have to live up to someone else's standard. And I think this is very, what do you say, like connected to the core belief.
Yes.
And I just feel like this is horrible to live with.
Yes.
One I had. So I feel like to really kind of knock on that one.
Yes.
Would make my life at least a lot more less heavy.
Yes. Because
some other heaviness come, but I can deal with this one now.
yes, but it's very common that people have some people in their life that are their authorities, that they want to be okayed by. Usually it's the parents, very common, but it can also be projected into some other person. But as you describe it, it's also that as soon as you do something with other people, they are that. They always become this authority for you that's going to okay you and tell you if you are all right or not.
Is this the because I have some predisposition to be like more bhakti or like more submissive to her? Is it?
Yes, it can have to do with that, and I would also, when it comes to that, to just you don't have to answer to anything but beingness or awareness. No one is your authority.
Whatever I have told them or whatever we have decided on, even though.
Yes, you should of course keep your commitments, but they're not automatically that. And I think if you express this feeling that you have of surrender to a symbol of awareness, like a deity, to Krishna, or I know that you like Krishna, so that you have somewhere to direct it, and make that put that there.
Surrender to heaviness, is it?
Surrender it to Krishna, and do that. You can do it every day is the best. If you find your way, you just bow and you give yourself over to this, so it also satisfies that bhakti part in you, so that not everyone has to become your authority. You allow Krishna to be that for you.
And I can also give, like if I feel worthless or if I feel burdened, I can also give that to Krishna, for example.
Yes. And my guru says it's beautiful. He usually says, give all your problems to me. And you're so welcome to just send them. Send them to me. Because they're not anything, really. They're just ghosts that still hang around a little bit. And I know that you have this disposition, but you have to find a way to express it. Singing bhajans, bowing to Krishna, or whatever you enjoy with that. So it gets expressed, because it's also very natural in you. I known you long enough now to know that. So just find a very natural expression for that, and no one have to be your authority in that sense. They don't have to. It's not up to other people to tell if you are all right or not. You are beingness itself. You are exactly as you should be. And again, I just want to go back to the point, you don't have to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with you. And I know that there's also something that you carry. Yes.
So like, some because I used to do this with a lot of exercises, like you want to do them in the way that they should be done, or like or kind of like, or somehow I have like if I go to a retreat, then I would like to also kind of have that confirmation, and then it like the thing is that it can almost take away that it's your, I mean not so personally, but it's your practice, or that it's your sadhana, because the lack of integrity with that is it. So then when I started to question that more and kind of just, okay, I do this and I see what opens up more space in me. I mean, those things have helped a lot, and then I can just like, okay, I can just do this, and I don't
Yes.
like, and then I just like, I hear what you say and I can try it, but then I don't, and then you become your own authority a lot more, kind of.
Yes. It has to become your sadhana.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to just copy. You see someone doing a practice, and you look up to that person, and you see the effect that practice have had, and you become like, I want to copy this practice. I want to be like that. But at some point you will feel that is lacking, because you will always try to be someone else. Even if you look up to a teacher or enjoy their teaching or whatever it is, or the sadhana that they teach, it has to at some point start to come from you. There has to be a naturalness with that. You have to find out what is sadhana here. What is your heart sadhana? Not just looking in the outer world, where can I fit in? It's so easy to feel like you're a little piece in a big puzzle, and you're looking around at the world and you're trying to fit in. And instead just looking at, oh, I'm this shape, I can just be here. The puzzle can go from here. But most people don't look at that. They just look at the world very externally and see how they can fit into it.
But then it becomes, I feel like that then it becomes more like a burden and a chore, and that kind of sucks away the love and joy in the practice that could be naturally there otherwise. Because there is a natural instinct or inclination or whatever you want to call it, to actually explore like who I am or what life is.
Yes.
Yeah, and if I just look to like, this is how we do it, then I can lose that essence. That's my experience at least.
Yes. So you have to come back to your own sadhana and your own practice, and to really find it, and see what works. Not where you want to fit in, and where you can where people can accept you, but much more what works. What kind of sadhana? If you try different things, you try singing bhajans, you try doing things, and very regularly, like every day, and you just see what effect that has. Okay, does it do the thing that I want? Does it diminish this feel of surrender to other people? Does it make me more balanced? You just explore.
But yeah, I get that. But sometimes the longing for exploration comes kind of like, yeah, now I really want to explore, and then I can go in. But then if it's not there, then sometimes it would be harder, right?
Yes.
Or yeah,
it will be it will be difficult certain times, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, for you specifically, I think that you really have to start to look at your own practice and see what it does, and not looking outside too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Hello. Nice to see you again, Marcus. I just wanted to say I have exactly the same. Not exactly, of course, but I recognize
Similar.
a lot of it. And I have a quite specific question. I had a really tough week now with this type of thoughts. just going around and around. And I tried a lot of different strategies to solve it, to fix it. And the more I try, the more I just get exhausted cognitively. Like when I come here, like at home, when I sit, I try to meditate at home. I can't sit still for 10 minutes because I have to fix it, you know. But when I'm here, I could sit here for 20 hours. And my question is, what's wrong with me if I can't sit at my own house for 10 minutes because I feel I'm inside of everything I have to fix? And when I come here, it's like...
Yes. But it's just a recognition that you see awareness in yourself when you come here. You sit with the group, many people here meditate a lot, and there's a lot of stillness, and you just tune into that. That's how how people work. We just follow the feeling or the energy of a group. So that's why we're doing this, because it is so helpful for most people. Because it's very difficult to sit at home by yourself doing it, and especially in the beginning. And when we're here, we're just talking about this subject. It's not like 5 minutes of meditation and then some other stuff. It's just about this when we're here, right? We only talk what is the present moment. All the questions is about that. There's nothing else. So the focus after a while, and I heard from I have a friend from Argentina, and when he first came to Sweden, he didn't know any Swedish, and he came to listen to me, and he said, I just enjoy it so much. I don't understand a word of what you're saying, but it's just so peaceful. I feel so peaceful every time. So it doesn't really, it's not so much, we think it's the words. There's a lot of talking here, so you can think that, it has to do with the words, but it has to do with peace, the peace that is here. And that is just you recognizing that when you're here. You notice that part. And at home, you have all other agendas. And you go into your ideas of you have to fix yourself, and I have to solve this now. I don't have time to have these thoughts. I have to do my work, and I have to do this and this. It's screwing up my life. All these things. But if you come regularly, you will establish this. And exactly as I said to Ulla here, it has to at some point start to come from you. And at some point, it will be so easily recognizable in you as when you will sit yourself, or you will be out walking or doing something, just waiting for something, you will automatically just go into being. You will not be in the ideas of waiting anymore, or what you're going to eat for dinner later. You won't care about those things, because the nicest thing is just to be here. And it's easy when you have that experience. When you sit here and you have that feeling, it feels so close and it feels so obvious. And then you go and you just buy into some thoughts and you're gone again.
I have a question. If I feel like that at home, does it mean that I should consider changing home?
No.
There
are many people who move around all the time because they feel after a while that their home becomes stagnant, that it becomes that it has this that all the mental things that start to be stuck in the walls. Yes. But that has nothing to do with the space. It has nothing to do with the home. And of course, if you feel no other solution and that you feel a bit of a break when you do that, you can keep on doing that, but that is not the core problem. The problem is always inside.
I'm asking because I live in a crossing with a lot of traffic.
Yes.
With a lot of
Yes.
noise.
So you can move.
Yeah.
Do what you like. But I'm just saying that if you have a tendency to always move because you feel that every space you move to becomes stagnant,
I do.
then you should look inside, not on the outside, because
Exactly.
it just becomes a big burden on your life.
Because I'm too tired mentally to just move somewhere now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, okay, I have to.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But and if you find it easy to find peace here, then come. And when you start to be established, and you notice when you practice your sadhana at home, and you start to be established, and it comes, maybe at some point you will feel like, I don't have to come anymore. It's good. But when to come here is like sort of a. I wish that this space was available when I started meditation. That's why I do this. Because I was alone a lot. I did a lot of sadhana alone, and it was very difficult. It's very difficult in the beginning, and it's so helpful to be with a group of other. You just see other people that has the same. They ask a question and say, "Oh, this also relates to me," and all these things. So, and my plan for all of you is that you should no longer need to come. The day when you say, there's just peace, I don't need to come anymore, then I will be very happy. That is the best news. But as long as you need, we're here.
So I don't have to feel ashamed that I need to come here.
No, absolutely not. And I think it's a great way, because you will also be exposed to this practice in a very direct way, and also to come to a teacher that has more experience than yourself can also point out where you're stuck, and you will get stuck on things. That just happens in your meditation practice. And also, when I first heard of meditation practice, and first times I went to India and they said, but you have to have a guru, I was like, no, I can do this for myself. And those things took a long time for me to get past, and it went very slowly because of that. And it doesn't have to. If I just had humility and the trust to come to a teacher and ask my question, it would go so much quicker. And as soon as I started that, it opened up a lot. So it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel as if this is not a mission. It's just a wonderful thing going on. And what's your take on, or what's your sensation about that more and more people are interested and about this awareness meditation, and it's more and more the waves are getting heavier around the world, as a community of people, and it's so interesting to see and hear about.
Yes.
What's your
I
feeling about
think it has never been as easily accessible as now. Not many years ago, it was very obscure things. And now you can just search non-dual meditation on YouTube and you can get loads. And the good thing about it is that it is very available, but it's so easy if there is not proper guidance that it becomes very heady. And this I have met a lot. A lot of people are very interested in like philosophical thinking and deep thoughts that go into it with a very mind-oriented way. So as long as it's kept very practical, I think it's great. But I also don't think that you should push it too hard on people. I see certain movements are pushing the thing very hard, and this is the only way, and everyone has to meditate, and da 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 da. And I think that there's a natural maturity when you come to a point you start to get tired of your ego and you start to be interested in investigating. That has to happen. And I talked with my guru about this, and he said, because someone told him, but you want as many people to come as possible. And he said, no, I want people to come who's really interested. And I think that is such a good way of looking at it, because you can always package something in a nicer way and take away all the heavy stuff and just talk about it in a certain way, and it will attract more people. But why? It is for those who really want to explore, who really want to know. But I think that it's beautiful that it's so easily accessible and that there is so much. But we still have to be sincere with the subject. Dedicated. It's so easy to digest it as just another thing that's out there. Yes, and we're also a little bit interested in meditation. Like this and this. That it can become very superficial because it feels easy to access. And if you hear about the old traditions, like you had to prove that you were determined enough to be at the monastery, to be with this teacher, so you had to sit outside and wait in sunshine and rain until they let you into the monastery. These kind of that way in is not there anymore. So that automatically sorted people. But also with my guru, he sometimes sorted people by just in the middle of his satsang, he always had a meditation. And when they started to come too many people, he just made that meditation really, really long. Suddenly it was like 1 hour and 40 minutes, really, really long. And the next time, half of the people were gone. So he was just sorting people out. Because if the sadhana is just too tough, then people won't come. So there are many ways, but I think in a way that it's beautiful. And I think that there are conversations that are really, really good to be held in our society. To talk about death, impermanence, the present moment. What is it? What is this experience? What really makes you happy? What is the fundamental things that is the core of your happiness? How many people look at that? Most people just have different fragments. They got some things from their parents and some ideas that they have, or they look around in society and they have an idea of, okay, if I fill these buckets, I will be happy. And if they do, they notice, okay, this still feels like something is lacking. And I think that everyone should go for the things that they think make them happy. If you have a strong belief that something will fulfill you or make you happy, do it. The greatest thing that can happen is that your dream becomes crushed, and you understand that it didn't deliver that happiness that you would and then you have to really look inside. It will always come to that, but our beliefs are in a way that it's sometimes very external and they're very deep rooted. We can carry maybe a parent's belief that they never got to fulfill, and we feel like we have to fulfill it. It's all these kind of actions that can be needed. And we're so afraid of failing with things. Like even if we're successful at something and it didn't make us happy in the way that we thought, then it's a failure. Then something is wrong. And you try to find what is wrong with it. But the thing that is wrong is the dual nature of the idea of the person. And just that we can have that conversation is amazing in a way. We have this capacity as humans to talk about these things. We can talk about the idea of the person. Yes. And that is an amazing capacity that we have. We can question when the mind comes up with the idea of a person inside of us. We can say, to whom is that happening? I think that we undervalue how powerful those things are. And we can contemplate on things. Does this really make me happy? Does this make me free? What is peace? What is real peace? What is the deep peace inside? And question all our answers. Such an important thing. Are you writing bhajan in the chat, Ola? Yes, we will sing something, I promise. Any more questions? Yes?
I have one more.
Yes? Yes? No.
I want to sing also.
We will sing, I promise you.
Yeah, so this weekend I went to a beautiful retreat, which was incredibly intimate, beautiful. I felt so much love, so much gratitude, and as I said before, so much intimacy with other people, and a lot of emotional stuff coming up. And then I came home and I went to work.
Always a fun one.
Yeah. Utvecklingssamtal. And I felt like I was being brought down. That was the feeling emotionally. I felt like all of the love that I had felt turned into irritation, turned into frustration that I couldn't hold on to this love and so on. A sense that I needed to avoid certain people because I felt like they brought me down. And so I'm wondering about this balance where I can sense that my heart really longs for other people who are also open, and where you can be vulnerable and share that space. but the balance to that is also not to escape, so to speak, from the mundane, from the people you have to encounter every day, and not see them so much as a burden, so to speak. So what is the
yes,
balance?
and even if you would change your line of work, there will always be troubled people. You will work in spirituality, and people will come to you with their mundane things and projecting things on you, and all these things are still. But the big shift that could happen for you is this sense that when you get back to work, that it's back to reality. That heaviness, that the back to reality becomes back to awareness, to the real reality. Because there is a belief that goes with that. There is a belief what that situation at work entails and what it is, and that life shouldn't be that. But life won't always be nice. It's very easy for the mind to, I was in this context, I would like to stay in that context forever. But the mind doesn't work like that. It won't play nice just because you change the context. It won't be nicer if you move from apartment to apartment. Even if there is a relief and a feeling that everything is new. At some point you will have to there will be self-confrontation in it. And you have to look at that.
So just to be a little bit more sort of practical with some people where you can just feel that heavy emotional load.
Yes.
And where I feel a stronger and stronger sensitivity to sort of be very alert early on that they carry so much heavy stuff, you know, and of course it triggers more and more in me as well.
Yes.
Of course.
So the question is, what is that heaviness to you? Why is that personal? Where does it take root?
Yeah.
At what point is it triggering you? Yeah. Because it's also when you go to a retreat like that, your defenses are lowered. You feel a bit without skin. So it will just trigger you easier in a way. Because this distance that you can keep up otherwise is suddenly not there. So the emotions get very raw with it. But this is a beautiful opportunity to also be with them. And to just continue your sadhana. When you come home and you feel this heaviness and people who are very negative or have a very, very heavy energy, that you just sit with that and see who does that relate to? And can you just, and what is the allowing of that sensation? Because the sensation is in your experience. So the heaviness and all of it, just, and if you have some space with it, you can just completely invite it in. You completely merge with it. Because it's so easy, the first response is usually just to resist. To just keep it away, to resist, to do something to. So the last thing you usually want is to invite it in. And sometimes it comes with a promise that it will completely consume you if you invite it in, or it will say things like that. And then you just call its bluff. You just check if that is. What happens if this heaviness really gets felt? Can I be with it?
Thank you.
Thank you. More questions? No? He he Govinda, he he Gopala, he he Govinda, he he Gopala, he Vasudeva, he Nityananda, he Vasudeva, he Nityananda, Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe, Radhe 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 Shama, Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe, Radhe 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 Shama, He Govinda, He Gopala, He Govinda, He Gopala, He Vasudeva, He Nityananda, He Vasudeva, He Nityananda, Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe, Radhe 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 Shama, Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe, Radhe 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 Shama, He Govinda, He Gopala, He Govinda, He Gopala, He Vasudeva, He Nityananda, He Vasudeva, He Nityananda, Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe, Radhe 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 Shama, Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe, Radhe 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 Shama, He Govinda, He Gopala, He Govinda, He Gopala, He Vasudeva, He Nityananda, He Vasudeva, He Nityananda, Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe, Radhe 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 Shama, Shri Radhe Radhe Radhe, Radhe 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 Shama, He Govinda, He He Gopala. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all. Give a donation if you can. It always helps.